In this episode of BCG's CEO Moments of Truth series, I'm sitting down with Klein, CEO and Chairman of the Executive Board of SAP, a global leader in enterprise applications and business AI. We are exploring one of the toughest challenges a CEO can tackle: reinvention. When underlying economic realities and industry dynamics shift, how does a leader reshape and transform their organization for success in an entirely new business model? Christian, it is so good to be with you today. I see you've hurt yourself. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Christoph. And to be clear, to avoid any kind of rumors, this was not an annoyed customer or partners. We don't have annoyed customers. Actually, this was completely on me. But the good piece is, there is a little surgery required, but the professor told me my tennis and ski career is not at risk. So all good. Yeah.
That's good. But now, while you are hurting right now, SAP, the company that you lead, is on an amazing journey of success over the past years. Tell us a bit more about where things stand.
I mean, right now, indeed, we're on an all-time high. The company is developing really well and very happy where we stand. But especially in tech, if you believe everything is done, then you are yesterday's company. So there's no time to rest.
Listen, you became the sole CEO of SAP in April 2020, pretty much in the middle of the COVID pandemic. And soon after that moment, you came to a very important decision about the need to transform the fundamental business model of SAP. What led you to that decision and how did you make it?
Before I became the CEO, I was also the chief operating officer of SAP, and I have seen the company from many different parts. So, and I also saw that, hey, my legacy ERP customized, very mission critical for the company, couldn't serve my new business. So I said, stop it. We need to rethink our business module because all our customers are sitting on 15-year-old releases which cannot serve the business modules of the future. And to also make sure they always stay on the latest release and don't fall behind 15 years of new innovations, we have to move them to the cloud. This decision was actually make or break for SAP's future.
Even if you know as a CEO that this is the direction you have to take, there are still concerns that weigh on you. What were the concerns that you felt you had to manage at that point in time?
I mean, that was a big change. I said to my CFO back then, hey, when I'm now also changing, from an upfront license model on-premise to a recurring subscription module, we need to go back to the financial market and tell them in order to give SAP long-term a future, we have to take a few billion profits out short-term, but it will be very rewarding, on the mid and the long term.
So for you, it was a must. But then when you went out to the capital markets and you communicated the change in strategy and the change in business model from on-prem to all in on the cloud, the market reaction was very negative. Take us to that moment. Did you actually wonder, well, Christian, was this the right thing and was it the right moment? Because we were still in the pandemic, there was a lot of difficulty in the world. How did it feel?
I mean, of course, you can prepare yourself for such a day, and I didn't expect, a positive reaction, trust me on that. I mean, but still then when it hits you, not only the company, it also, of course, hits yourself. I mean, you have feelings and this night was not easy for me. I needed probably more than one glass of wine. But then next day, and this is also who I am. I mean, this is also what I learned in sports is, you can fall down, but then next day you have to stand up. So it's then the time to fight and to convince the people to come on that journey. Not falling back and say, oh, the world is so miserable. How could this ever happen? I mean, you can have these thoughts for a few moments, but the next day it's very important that you walk on. And then second, is what is also very important from a leadership perspective is you cannot over-communicate at that point of time. And that you can only do if you talk to the people, if you explain in a very authentic manner, why was this now the right decision? Because then you look at the share price, but you still have the belief, okay, but there is an outcome and he can explain it in a very authentic manner. Why was this now the right decision for SAP?
Your SAP user groups are very influential and I know very important to you personally and to the company overall. Tell us a bit more how you brought them along.
It's a very good question, Christoph, because not only investors had question marks about the decision, of course, customers approached us as well and said, hey, Christian, I spend it so much on my ERP on-premise on your platform, and now suddenly you're shifting it all to the cloud. How can I actually move on this journey together with you? And I said, hey, we are not only expecting you now to lift and shift an existing legacy landscape to the cloud. Use this as a chance, because no matter if you are in energy or if you are in oil and gas or retail, your industry is also disrupted as well with new technology. So take this opportunity and we help you. We start with the business. We start with the business process layer and think through, what does your company need to transform? We will have tools. We will have architects. We call this offering Wise with SAP. So you will be not alone in this journey.
We know that many big companies try to transform themselves and never get there. Many fail. You succeeded. How did you do that within your company?
Again, also a very valid point, because there are the investors, there are the customers, now there are the employees. And they also had huge concerns when they saw the share price collapsing. Are we now yesterday's company? And is there hope? Yeah, and I said, of course there is hope. We have a great foundation. But now we need to change the way how we work as SAP. And it was super important to over-communicate and give people confidence that, yes, we have the right strategy. Now let's execute together. So we told our product owners, you have to now come together on one platform to build a modular suite, but not like, a Frankenstein stack where you have to be one SAP. And similar thing on the sales, on the marketing, on the delivery side. Suddenly, the whole module changed, and we needed to work on reskilling. We needed to work on training. We needed to build up also certain job profiles, which we didn't have. That's why we did restructuring.
So if you look forward, let's say 5 years into the future, 2030,
yes,
what do you think are going to be the core elements of your success story in 2030?
Definitely, and not in 5 years, actually in 3 years, I see a world where you're going to do your quarter ends, and there's probably your chief accounting saying, yes, I like the work, what the agents of SAP did, and I actually have my books closed, in almost real time and not in 20, 25 days. When you look at your cash flows, that, oh, this software is so intelligent, it's analyzing the root causes, and it helped me. This week, I had a logistics company who was hiring around about 100,000 people a year, and they said, hey, on recruiting, I like your use case, let's expand it, and so that also my recruiters at the end can still make the final decision. But a lot of the work, the screening, finding the right people, attracting the right talents, is done by the AI agent of SAP. And this is where we are now going to. We have a good foundation because we have the data, we understand the business process, we understand the industry. And if we bring this together with all the new technology around AI, this is the kind of flywheel what we will now infuse in all of our solutions.
I think that's a great vision, and I'm sure you will do everything you can to get there. Now, Christian, let's talk about you as a person. What did you learn as a leader, and how has that shaped you?
I learned that a piece of technology is not transforming a company. A cloud move is not transforming a company. Yeah, you have to really think through, starting with the business, starting with the end users. What do they need in order to be successful in the age of AI, in the digital age? That is very important. Also on the leadership side, I regret it, looking back to the last 5 years, only the decisions which I didn't make and not the decisions which I did, when they are not all right decisions. But I'm more managing under, the belief that you rather do 10 decisions a day and 8 are good and 2 are not so good, instead of just standing still and paralyzing yourself.
Wonderful, Christian. It is so great to hear from you. Congratulations on the amazing success story, and all the best for the upcoming surgery.
We will fix that.
Good.
Thanks a lot.